Uche is telling his friend Clinton on how he plans to propose to his girlfriend who he has been dating for a while now. But Clinton came on asking questions regards to this proposal. Clinton goes on, Uche, are you sure about this? Are you really sure you want to marry Pearl? Do you think she really loves you? Don't you think it's too soon? You have just been dating for just a year, even though you've known each other for a while. Uche says, well, if you know, you know. You don't need to keep waiting for so long before you get married to someone you truly love. Uche was convinced that Pearl is the one. But Clinton kept asking questions of doubt and putting doubt in the thought or mind of Uche. But that did not stop Uche. Uche was already prepared and has made up his mind to propose to Pearl. Exactly a week after, Uche proposed Pearl and they plan on getting married very soon. Pearl told one of her best friends, Sonita, about the proposal. Sonita was so happy, even though she was also very confused how fast this proposal came. Pearl said, well, it doesn't matter how long you've been dating or know someone. If you guys truly love each other, you just make it happen. Sonita said, well, that's true. If you think Uche is the best for you, then so be it. Pearl said yes. Uche is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Sonita said, okay, so when is the wedding? When are we planning? Pearl said, well, we can start planning the wedding now. We don't want anything huge, something very small, close family. We are now about to make a huge wedding on the top of the town. Sonita said, okay, that's also a good idea. But you know I'm your bridesmaid. Pearl said, yes, of course. Who else would it be? That was how the two ladies ended their conversation. Clinton went to the house of Uche and asked, Uche, are you sure about this marriage? I keep asking myself that this is too soon. Uche said, why are you so worried about my marriage? Pearl is a good woman. We've known each other for quite a while now, even though we started dating just officially a year. Why are you so bothered about this? Okay, well, if you say so, I'll not say anything about it. Have you guys done all the necessary tests and medical check-out before you're going to tie the knot finally? Uche said, well, now that you mention it, I think we will be doing that before the wedding day. Okay, whenever you're ready, you guys need to come check in our hospital to do that. A month to the wedding, Uche and Pearl went to Clinton's hospital to do a medical checkup, only for them to find out that Pearl is XS and Uche is XY, which means that their genotype is not a match for them to get married. Pearl became so confused. She cried her eyes out. Uche became confused and said they were both medically okay. Pearl was also confused because anytime she checked, she knew that she was XY and Uche was also XY. So how come she's XS and Uche is XS? So their genotype is not a match. This was so confusing for both of them. Pearl went to her friend's place, Sonita, to lay complaint and said the marriage might not hold. Uche was also confused in his house. Clinton came by to console him and said, well, it means that you both cannot get married. Uche was confused and said, yes, it means we can't get married. I don't know what to do. I love Pearl so much. Pearl is the one for me. I don't know. This genotype is just not the right thing to happen to both of us. Clinton said, well, it just means that you guys are not meant to be. That is what it is. You can't get married because you love each other and bring forth or bring children to this world to suffer. Uche says, I know. You're saying the right thing. But that is not what I need right now. I need some space. You need to go. I want to think. Clinton said, well, I'll leave you to your thought. But just know that the right thing to be done now is to call off the wedding. Uche said, well, I know. I really need to be alone right now. Pearl was confused. Uche was confused. Pearl went back to the house and Uche was confused. Uche was like, Pearl, do you think we can do this? Our genotype is not a match. It means the wedding can't hold. I know. I love you. You love me. If the genotype says we can't get married, then so be it. I think we need some space to think about it thoroughly before we make our next move. Pearl was like, yes, that's true. They gave each other some space. Pearl went to her house, Uche went to her house. After a week, Uche came to a conclusion and said, you know what? I still love Pearl. We are going to go ahead with the marriage. He called Pearl and said, Pearl, I love you. If you love me, let's go ahead with the marriage. You know why? Because we love each other. Uche called Clinton and said, yes, we are going on with the marriage. Clinton immediately came back to the house and said, why do you want to go on with the marriage when you know that you guys are not compatible medically? Why do you want to do this to yourselves? And of course, to your unborn kids. Uche was like, no, that doesn't matter. We can adopt if we want to. For now, we love each other. We're going to go ahead with the marriage. Clinton was like, okay, if you say so. Pearl, on the other hand, says, well, you know what? I love you so much, and we're going ahead with the marriage. Uche and Pearl went ahead and got married. 2 years into the marriage, they are yet to have their own kid, even though they are medically okay except the genotype. Pearl became devastated and worried and asked why they can't have their own kids. Uche one day went on to a family meeting and conducted a test and asked most of the family members if there was a trace of genotype in their family or blood. He found out that none of the family is having any genotype issues, which he became confused why he is a genotype problem. Where is it coming from? He brushed it off and went ahead and have a conversation with Pearl. Pearl also had to conduct some family tests, asking most of her family members if they have genotype issues. They all said no. So now where from this genotype problem? Uche and Pearl became confused and still hoping that one day they will have their own kid. So as they tried and tried and tried, nothing was happening. Clinton, when they told them, it's because their genotype is not a match. How can they have a kid? Clinton suggested that he can do them a favor by sleeping with Pearl so that they can have their own kid. Uche was confused. What do you mean by sleep with Pearl? Pearl was also confused. What do you mean by you want to sleep with me to have a child with me? Uche came up with that suggestion after Clinton suggested it to him. Pearl was not in agreement and said, how can you agree to that? You want me to sleep with your best friend to have a child for you or for us? This is not possible. I am not doing that. If God says we are not going to have kids now, then so be it. Even though I'm worried and I'm confused, that does not mean I have to sleep with your best friend for us to have a child. This is not possible. Pearl did not agree, but after months of trying to have a child and still no positive result, she succumbed to that decision. She was ready to sleep with Clinton so they could have a child if that is the option available to them now. The day of Clinton coming to the house to sleep with Pearl, Pearl prepared food, waiting for Clinton to come. As they have their discussion, ate together and was about to sleep and have the thought process of doing the thing so they can produce. Pearl stopped Clinton and said, well, we can't do this. Maybe not today, another time. Clinton wanted to take advantage and forcefully sleep with Pearl, but that did not happen. Uche walked in and said, my wife said not today, allow her. So that did not happen. Clinton's plan of sleeping with Pearl did not happen or was not fruitful. Days later, Uche and Pearl decided to go to another hospital to check their fertility and genotype again, only to find out that the results they got in Clinton's hospital were not real. These were the real ones. They were genotype, were AS and AS, and they were a match. They can actually produce, so they realized that they were being given a drug that was slowing down their fertility rate. They could not believe it and realized that it was Clinton that was behind all of this. only for them to not believe the doctor. So the doctor suggested another hospital for them to do the test. It came out that they were actually AS and AS. AS and AA, which means they are medically okay. There's no genotype issue. So Clinton was giving them drug, and that was stopping their fertility rate. They went home and asked themselves, why is Clinton doing this? So they called Clinton to the house and said, Clinton, my wife is ready for you to sleep with her. Clinton came. Pearl was sitting with Uche and they were asking him questions. Clinton, why? Clinton was confused. But Uche asked, you are the cause of our problem in this marriage. Why did you lie to us about genotype? At this point, Clinton knows that he has been caught. He can't lie anymore. Then he said, it's because of you, Pearl. You are the cause of this problem. Do you remember in our secondary school days to our university days, when I approached you that I love you, you laughed at me, you make mockery of me, you give me a nickname that lasted throughout the days of my school. I was mocked, I was laughed at. That created a scar. After today, all our school friends still come the same name. So I've vowed to myself that I'm going to take my revenge, I'm going to take my pound of fudge. So this is the reason. You make a mockery of me, I'll also make a mockery of you. That is it. Pearl was confused and said, what? This was more than 15 years ago. Why do you still hold this grudge? 15 years past 10. Why? Clinton said, well, you caused me pain, I'll also cause you pain. Pearl was so confused. Uche was like, so you just couldn't have a conversation with Pearl to discuss that if she offended you, she would have apologized. Those were childish play. Of course, they were harmful, but if you were so pain until now, you could just ask and talk to her about it and she will apologize genuinely and sincerely. Why did you cause pain to us like this? Uche angrily called the police and came in to arrest Clinton. His medical certificate were revoked. Spent some days in the prison. Pearl and Uche were now okay to have their own kids. Thanks for watching this recap. This channel brings you the best Nollywood movies. We save you time and money. Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos for more movie recaps.